Greetings, greetings, greetings. I am so excited to be with you all today because you definitely are in for a treat. I hope you've been enjoying this conference. As I know there's been some awesome speakers before me, some great keynotes, definitely making sure that you're networking and getting some valuable information. But the time that I have with you today, I hope to also make a life-changing experience with you all, as I am Dr. Fayola Delica. I am a native of South Florida. I'm an international award-winning speaker, international best-selling author ×2, #1 Amazon best-selling author ×2, international award-winning healthcare professional, international award-winning serial entrepreneur, and an international award-winning beauty queen. But as I say, I hope one day I can just say, Google me, baby, and you get to learn more about me. But as my time is very short with you all, I just want to talk to you all today about how 2020 is still the best year of your life. I know we've been facing various challenges from COVID-19, racial injustice, election season here in the United States, and many other probably personal things. But what I want to tell you all today is that there's still a success plan that can be effective despite all that's going on in the world today. As I have had my own challenges during this 2020, and the reflection that I had recently was that this year is my divine year of greatness. And I thought to myself, how could that be with all that is going on? But when I started to really take the time, especially during this quarantine time, and focus on what's more important in life. It's not always about making more money. It's not always about being more famous or successful or making sure your name becomes a household brand. But it's really about what is your purpose in life and what are you meant to do on this earth. And as I reflected from my own time during this quarantine, I realized that I had much more to offer the world, despite all the things that I just kind of shared with you all in my introduction. But realizing the three things that I needed to focus on to truly have a plan that is successful, even in 2020, was three things. So during my presentation, I'm going to focus on three different words with you all. The first word is introspection. The second word is strategy. And the third word is implement. I think it's so important during this quarantine time that we really take an introspection and realize, what are my greatest assets? And if you're like me, you're gifted in many areas, you can do a lot of great things. But realizing there are a few assets that you have are really your strongest assets that make you great in this world, that make you stand out from the rest. As I am a coaching consultant, and of course, as many other coaching consultants, as this is a billion-dollar industry. But in my introspection, I had to realize, what will make me different? What will make me stand out? And I want you to ask yourself that question. Because during this time, there's many things that we can say, well, I thought I was good at this, but I'm really, really, really good at this. And understanding is not only identifying your greatest assets, but also how to capitalize on those assets. And what I came to realize is, as a child, I was one of those students who was a great student, but boy, did my teacher always write on my report card, great student, but boy, does she love to talk. And I thought it was a weakness of mine, not being able to control my mouth at times. But realizing in this space, especially during this quarantine, as I've been a public speaker for many years, I've been a consultant, a trainer for many years, but I didn't realize the opportunity that I had in media. So during this introspection, I actually unveiled a different asset that I had that I didn't really capitalize or understood that I had that would make me have such a successful year in 2020. So I want you to think of that for yourself. What assets are showing up even now more than ever because of this quarantine time, because you're really having the opportunity to have an introspection, doing a self-inventory of your gifts, your talents, your weaknesses, and your strengths. Once you've identified it, the second thing is strategy. It is so, so important for strategy. And I will tell you the reason why I'm reflecting and really amazed at myself what 2020 has done for me. Let me give you a little background of who I am. Not only am I a child of two Haitian immigrants as the first generation Haitian American, but I was a young girl who faced many, many challenges, from being molested to having health issues, and then as an adult facing homelessness. And it was during the 2008 economic crash that I lost all that I had. I was very successful in my early 20s. I was a nurse contractor, a traveling nurse. I was in school to become a pastor. I was in seminary, doing all those great things, checking off my list. I had built a house, you know, all the American dream things that we identify as success. But when I lost it all, I really had to understand, who am I? Am I defined by my materialistic things? Am I defined by the success I've achieved? Or am I truly defined by living out my purpose and knowing who I am? And many of you may be having that same experience even now during this COVID-19 pandemic. But I want to encourage you. This is a great time to position yourself differently. This is a great time to understand that, yes, you may have had some challenges, but as the saying goes, when the world give you lemons, you make some good lemonade. And I always say my lemonade may not be as great as Chick-fil-A, but close enough. And so when I understood that I had to look at the challenges that I faced in life, but how can I position myself despite those challenges? What experiences or lessons can I learn from the challenges and the hardships I had in life to be able to have much more wisdom and understanding in the opportunities that will come in the future? And I tell you, in COVID-19, I've had clients, I've had colleagues, I have had friends who have reached so much success in this quarantine time during this pandemic than they did before. I've had clients that have been able to hire people, which they've never have had the opportunity. They've been sole entrepreneurs, and now they're able to call themselves a small business owner and not working in the business, but on the business. I've also had colleagues in ministry who've been able to expose their ministry because they realize, despite our doors being closed, there's still an opportunity to evangelize and get the gospel out by social media, having a digital platform, being creative and innovative with the message of the gospel. And when we look at strategy is not only having a plan and strategizing what that plan is, but strategy is also your contacts. I would tell you, during this season, I've been able to shift some of my contacts and didn't realize the opportunities that were right before me that I never took advantage of. And when I started to understand, wait a minute, I've been leaving a whole lot of money on the table. Has that been you? That you look at your phone list or you look at your social media list and you're saying, wow, I didn't realize I knew this person and that person and this person. And during this quarantine downtime, even as a healthcare provider, I've tried to take advantage of the quarantine time to say, hey, how can I take advantage of the relationships that I've built over the years? I remember looking down of my social media contact list, I realized I knew someone who worked closely within the Miami Dolphins business. And I said, wow, as having a nonprofit organization for youth, I said, I can take advantage of this opportunity to position myself to allow my youth to be able maybe have an opportunity to go to a Miami Dolphins game, or even have an opportunity to meet one of the Dolphins, or even getting one of their paraphernalias as a prize or a gift for one of my students. And so it's realizing strategy is really positioning yourself in various aspects. I truly believe that it's not just financial wealth, but it's human capital. So I want to ask you, what strategies are you going to be putting in place? Even though some states may have reopened, I know here in the state of Florida, we've somewhat reopened to what is our new normal, so to say. And so businesses are opening their doors again. People are going back to some kind of routine of life. But I would say, even in this time, there's still an opportunity to focus, an opportunity to take time to really put a system and a strategy in place to take your success to the next level. I always tell people success is not always defined by your materialistic things or things that you've accomplished or things that you have accumulated over time. But true success starts from within. True success is when you are content with who you are and your purpose and who God has made you. Once I started to understand that success was not an external factor that I need to focus on, but it was an internal factor. And that also helped me to strategize and position myself properly to understand that I am my greatest assets. It's not the house that I live in or the car that I drive or the clothing brands that I wear, but it's really what I'm bringing into the world and what I bring to the table. So I encourage you that even The challenge is maybe you're on furlough, you may have lost your job. Unfortunately, you may have lost a loved one through COVID-19, or many other challenges that may have shown themselves during this pandemic season. But I want to tell you, a strategy is the way out of any challenge. I am a living witness and testimony. Once I started to strategize myself differently and understanding that I am a healthcare provider, but I don't have to be confined to the clinical setting. I don't have to be confined to bedside. I can also be a consultant. I can also go out and do travel nursing. I can also go out and not only work within healthcare, but other industries that need my skill sets, other industries that need my knowledge and information. And so I want you to think about, what can you do to strategize yourself in a different position? Whether that's through the contacts that you have, whether that's through the past experiences you have, or even the current experiences that are possible. I've had a lot of colleagues and clients that have actually gone back and took advantage. A lot of institutions were giving free education, whether that was a degree, a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, whether it was a certificate or some kind of training or new knowledge and information that they have received during this quarantine time, to be able to position themselves properly, to be able to say, I've gone in this area and I've mastered it. What other area can I master in through the knowledge and information that they've received? And so that is also another way to strategize yourself, put yourself in a different position to strategize on how to have this plan of success. I truly believe that, as they say, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And in this season, we cannot fail. We cannot fail because there's too much on the table. I truly believe if you are still here in this moment in time and COVID-19 did not take you out, maybe you were directly or indirectly impacted by COVID-19, realize that you still have a lot to offer this world. Realize there's more in you that you really have to seek out to bring and make this world a better place. Once we move past having a strategic plan that is effective and we looked at all aspects, I truly believe looking at life from a holistic perspective, meaning I don't just compartmentalize myself or look at one area of my life. I like to look at, I call it the 360 angle. I like to look at every aspect of my life and figure out, how can I position myself? What strategies do I need to change? Whether that's from a personal perspective, whether it's from a financial perspective, whether that's from a career or a professional perspective, whether that's from a spiritual perspective, a mental perspective, or even a physical perspective. Because as I said, success is working from the inside out. It's an internal factor that you have to master so it can be exposed as an external factor. Then when we look at the last thing that I want to share with you all, the third word that I want to share with you all is implementation. I know it can be scary. I know there's like, how can I implement a plan in a pandemic? How can I implement a plan if I am on furlough or I've lost my job, or if I'm taking care of loved ones that may be dealing with comorbidities, meaning other health conditions, complicated health conditions, or even having a loved one in the hospital with COVID-19 or in a nursing home and you're unable to go visit them. But what I will tell you, implementation is key. You can plan all day long if you want, but if you do not execute that plan, then it was worthless of your time and energy. And yes, it can be scary. But what I always say is, in order to really step into the successful plan that is bulletproof, even in 2020, is actually taking that first step. And that first step, it may be hard. Trust me when I tell you, even today, as I was looking, it's been 30 days since I started my TV ministry. And I'm saying, God, it's been 30 days. And how is this going to move that you're telling me to start a second TV ministry? But I know it's about implementing. It's about taking that first step. It's taking that faith walk. And in this season, God has definitely told me that you have to be a faith walker to be successful in this season. You cannot go by the logics of humankind, but you have to go by the logic of God. And the logic of God is so bigger and greater than what we can ever think, because he's infinite. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. His understanding is not our understanding. But I would tell you, in implementing is taking that first step. And once you take that first step, with all the fear, all the anxiety, all the emotions that you may be feeling, feeling. I'm telling you, it gets easier and easier as you climb up this mountain of success. And so it's understanding that implementation may even take you to a larger scale. And I say that in the sense of, as I alluded to before, I have a client that was able to hire people for the first time. This person has been a sole entrepreneur for decades. And it is during this quarantine time, during this pandemic, they were able to have introspection. They were able to strategize, and then they were able to implement. And not only are they doing contracts on a local level, but they're also doing contracts with governments. They're also doing contracts even in the next phase of their business to go international. So it is possible, because there's so many testimonies out there that are saying that this is their winning season. That just as God told me, he said, this is your year of divine greatness. And if I could tell you that I've been featured on various magazines, I am currently writing a best-selling anthology. I am working on my second TV ministry within the last 30 days. My business has expanded. My workers, my employees have expanded. So I'm telling you, during this pandemic, there is a success plan that you can have that's bulletproof. There is a success plan that you can have that is foolproof, meaning that nothing can impede it, but you have to have the right focus. You have to be determined, no matter what comes my way, no matter what challenges I face, that I will be successful, that this year will be my greatest year. COVID-19, racial injustice, election, personal issues, financial issues, health issues, whatever else, the world could be falling down. But I'm still declaring that this year, 2020, is my year of great success. That my success plan that will be created or designed during this Success Women Conference will be like never before. It will even blow your enemy's mind. It will blow your haters' mind. Your haters, I always say, should be your motivators. And so I want to encourage you all, despite what you're going through, despite how you feel, 2020 is your best year. 2020 is the year. So come on now, you're attending the Success Women Conference. Of course, success is all in you. This is your best time. This is the right time to believe, just as the theme is for this conference. So as I want to tell you and encourage you, it is possible. If you have introspection, you have your strategy, meaning you position yourself, and that you implement, even in fear, even in doubt. If you can't believe in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you? Well, I hope you all enjoyed this time that I've had with you all. I hope you were inspired. I would definitely love to connect with you. And what I'm excited about is to give you an opportunity, as I do have a coaching program that we are sharing with Success Women Conference. It is Winning in Life with Coach Fayola, me, of course. And it is a private Facebook group. And what we're going to do for the attendees of this conference is we're going to waive our administrative fee of $25. So your first month is not going to be $50, but it's going to be $25. And this coaching program is only $25 a month, but there's great ways and opportunities to connect, to be inspired, to be coached, and definitely to be winning in this season. 2020, you are going to win no matter what, and I want to help you to win. Definitely, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And once again, I am Dr. Fayola Delica. I am your purpose and passion activator. I am just a woman who wants to change the world by making sure that everyone is successful. I want to thank you all for your time today. And once again, if you would like more information about this coaching program that we have on our private Facebook group, definitely send me a DM. It's Dr. Fayola Delica, D-R-F-A-Y-O-L-A. And my last name is Delica, D as in David, E-L-I-C-A. You can definitely connect with me on all social media platforms. And we look forward to connecting with you and working with you. I wish you all the best, and make sure you have fun during the Success of Women's Conference. Thank you all. Have a good one.